Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to say welcome to our webinar today. We'll just start in 2 minutes. I still see some people are signing in, but we will start in the next 2 minutes. Thanks so much. Hi, morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to just be sharing my screen one more time, and then we'll start with the sales, how to manage your sales portfolio on Propworx itself. So I'm just going to close my screen here so that you can see Propworx. Wonderful. So with today's training, we're going to be looking at how to manage your sales portfolio directly on Propworx. So looking at how to create your attorneys, how to send out your sales mandates, how to do correspondence, how to load your offers. Maybe if you want to do a little bit of marketing, you'll be able to do all of that directly on Propworx. So we do have a mixed group today. We've got some clients that are currently with us and then some prospective clients as well that are watching the presentation. So on Propworx, as most of our clients already know, you do have a rentals module as well as a sales module built in together. Most of our clients know about the rentals module and they mainly use the rentals, but few actually have been using the sales module. It is a new feature that was released just a few months ago, but we would like to actually demonstrate it and show you how easy it is to manage your sales portfolio. So on Propworx, if you're looking at the screen, you'll see at the top that it's currently linked to rentals. When I click on the little button and take it across, it'll open up to my sales module, allowing me to then see my sales report. It will show me a list of all my sales files as well. So the first thing we're going to start off with is how do you actually create a sales file? Because already I've got a list here of just a few sales properties. If I go to any one of them, it will give me information about each property. Let me actually choose a new one. You'll be able to load documentation, who the seller is, who the purchaser is, the sales process, your Pro-forma invoices, your sales mandates, do your correspondence. So we're going to create a brand new property from the beginning. Since I'm under the sales module, you'll see that under admin file, you have a button called create file. When you click on it, you'll then be able to create a sales file. Now, the name that you provide on your sales file is completely up to you, what you'd want your sales file to be. I'm going to just choose something quite simple, something like sale 01234. So I'm going to type that in. And then a little description normally is the name of the property, so you have a quick list of it. Once you created your sales file, you'll be able to load which property it is. So on Propworx, you will have a list of properties that you have. So this is actually your stock list. And with your stock list, you'll be able to see which properties are leased out. So if you do have a property that you're currently renting out, but it's now going to be sold or needs to go on the market, you'll be able to convert it as well to a sales file. So you have both rentals and sales at the same time. So you'll also see that I can look at my filters. So if I look at my lease property, it shows me which properties I currently have, which are currently leased out, which properties are considered vacant. And then I can also look at all my properties and see which properties are linked to sales files. So it's a full list. And with your property list, you'll see that if you scroll across, it can give you a list of how many bedrooms, bathrooms, unique features of each unit, and you can filter by every single one of these properties. You'll see that I'm going to select this property here for my sales file. If I edit it, you'll be able to see more information. I put the property address, I put photos of the property, I even have an advert for my property and then unique features of this property. So if I'm happy with this information, I'm going to load that to my sales file, as you see, and then I can load who the actual seller is. So your seller might be somebody brand new that you have. It could be an existing owner that you have. Maybe it's an old tenant that you used to have that's selling their property. So you'd look on the list. If the person's not on the list, you'd simply create them from scratch. So I'm just going to choose Martin Miller to be my seller for this property. Once it's finished, the file is actually created. We are integrated with Google Maps so that you can do some directional searches. I just have the wrong address loaded here, so that's why it's not doing any searches. With my sales file, it will pull through all the images that I've loaded against the file. And then I'll be able to load additional information if needed. It will have my seller's details. With my seller, I had already preloaded all the FICA documentation, but you could easily load additional documentation if necessary. Now that we have this information, I want to send my seller a sales mandate that I would like them to sign. From Propworx, you have the ability to send out emails as well as SMSs. If I'm going to send an email to this particular person, I would like to attach a document. With Propworx, you can attach your legal documents, you can attach any of your sales documents, your rental documents as well. But we have a special section that allows you to load your template onto the system. And on the system, you'll be able to load that template and load what we call mail merge codes. What this simply will do is that each field will be coded automatically and filled in automatically with the details provided onto the system. So if I had to demonstrate, I would like to preview this document with the file just created. When it opens up, it will be filled in. It will have some of the details already filled in for me. As you can see, it's got my seller's details, Martin Miller, the ID number, the property address that I'm selling, or the property of the address that I'm selling. If I scroll down, it'll have additional information like the seller's contact details all filled in. So this makes it nice and easy for your agents to simply just send out emails directly from the office with the details already in place, and then the seller can just fill in any additional details that might not have been filled in. You'll then be able to attach it onto your email. You could even create email templates for yourself. I have one here. Again, it's got my mail merge codes on them. And if I attach it onto my email, I can send it off to my seller and it will automatically fill in my email body as well. Once it gets sent out, it will keep a copy of that saved item on my system, as well as on your sent items on your Outlook or your Gmail, whatever you're currently using. So once I'm happy that I sent out my sales mandate, and let's say I received back my sales mandate, I can then fill in my mandate details. So under sales mandate, you'll be able to see that you can actually load the type of mandate it is. So if they signed a sole mandate, a deal mandate, or multi-listing mandate, I'm going to choose sales mandate. I'll be able to put the commission structure. So in this case, it's 5% commission. My owner's asking price, which they would have filled in that sales mandate. So I'm going to choose 2.5 million rands. When does my mandate expire? Then I can just choose my date of when it expires. It will then calculate what would be the commission that you would actually earn. Of course, the asking price might not be the end amount that the property sells for. It would actually be on the price that they sell it for. So the commission will then recalculate on the sales price. You can then add your agents. This works really nicely if you want to do split commissions even on your sales. If you have more than one agent working together or referral agent, you can load them on the list. I'm just going to choose Cindy Garcia as my agent, and it's going to be a 50-50 split. Once I put in the information, I also have the ability to load documents. So if I receive that sales mandate, I'll be able to load that sales mandate directly from the system and attach it onto Propworx so that I have a copy of it digitally. And then if I wanted to view it at any point in time, I can simply open it up and it will have the information with it being signed. Now, once you have your sales mandate in place, you also have the opportunity to do full marketing with your clients. So on Propworx, you would be able to, external from Propworx, you'll be able to create your own little brochures. But now with the lockdown, as we all know, most people have been creating little videos of their properties. So you'd actually be able to even attach a video or a video link onto the actual email to send it out. So you can attach a brochure, a video, some photos, maybe even the offer to purchase onto that email and send it out directly from Propworx. So let me just demonstrate. For example, I would like to go to maybe my list of prospective clients that I might have already loaded on Propworx. So as you're getting offers, or maybe you have people phoning in, you can load them as prospective clients. Maybe you want to send the marketing to your current owners who are looking for new investment. You can maybe send it to your current tenants, or maybe other offers from other properties that maybe they were rejected for maybe on the price that they offered on. So if I were to decide to go and send an email to all my clients, and let's say I want to send it to my rental owners that are renting properties from me, I can then select all my owners and choose to email them. They then all get attached to an email, but even though all of them are under the toolbar, it doesn't mean that each person's going to see each other. Imagine like now I'd open up a separate email stream for each individual. I can then load a little template. So I've got a little template of an advert, exciting investment opportunities that I can load. I can then attach my videos and my brochures. So I'm going to look on my system, and it's actually already on my property that I already attached it to. So I can actually go to my actual property that I've created. I can go and look at the photos that I've already preloaded. There's my advert. If I had a video, I could attach that, but let me attach a few of these things. It attaches it onto my email. I can then put in my subjects, and when ready, click send. And just to demonstrate that each person does receive their own personalized email, when I preview it, you'll see that would be the first person and the information they received, second person, and so on with all the details. Once you send it out, everybody will get a personalized email with the details of your advert. Great, so now we've done a little bit of marketing on the system. So little by little, you might be doing some show houses, maybe start getting a few offers. You might actually be sending offices to purchase to your clients. And if you wanted to do from Propworx, you would easily be able to do that. It would be auto filled in with a lot of the details already in place. Then the offer can just simply fill in the rest of the information, like what offer they're putting. Is there any conditions to the offer that they're putting in, what they're considering as occupational rent in the event that the owner, the seller remains in the property once the transfer has gone through. You'll be able to load all that information. So now that I've got a few offers, I'll be able to add a new offer. So when you're adding a new offer, you'll be able to load the details of the offer. For example, that possibly that the total offer for this property, somebody wants to give me 1.5 million. They do have to apply for a bond. That is part of their conditions. So I can put that information. I can put in the date that they've made that offer, and when we consider that the offer will be expired. So I'll give them until the 31st of August. I can then put any conditions like requires to get a bond, and then load the actual individual that made an offer. So when I add, it'll give me a list of the individuals. If it was a prospective client or one of my clients already on the system, I can simply just select them from the list. If it's a person that is brand new, I could just create them and they're part of my list as well. So now that I've loaded my offer, I can then save it, and you'll see that there's a row in place. I can then attach the actual OTP information that they loaded or sent to me. And you'll see if I open it up, it'll give me all the details of the offer that they made. And just so that you know, in the future, in the next maybe 2 months, we will be releasing legal packs, which will allow our clients to purchase legal documentation from us, which will be your rental documentation like lease addendums, lease agreements, as well as sales documentation as well. And then also for debt collection, like acknowledgement of debt or re-notifications as well, which will be part of our system. If you have another offer, you can simply create a brand new offer with the new individual. So I'm just going to put in my other offer that I've now received. when they made that offer, when does it expire, and all of this is obviously quite optional. You don't have to fill in all these details. But let's say curtains need to remain. So that is part of the offer. They want the curtains to remain in the property. I can then load a new person on the list so that they appear as one of my offerers. If there's more than one person that they're buying the property together, you can then load both individuals. Now, with both of these individuals being on the system, what will then happen is you can actually edit the offer. And you'll see that if the owner has decided to reject a specific offer, you'll be able to reject it. If they did a counter offer, you'll be able to perform that. And this will all appear on your actual sales reports that we have on the system. So if I put that this offer was rejected, I can then put in that my second offer was actually accepted. So if I accept this offer, right at the bottom, you'll see that you'll be able to, let me just hide this, copy the actual person to be part of your transfer process. So if I copy this record to be a transfer, they now become a purchase on the system. It's been accepted. You'll see that then it is got the status of being accepted, and that purchaser or that offer has now become a purchaser. And you'll see if I show you your sales reports, you have a sales offer report, which will give you all the details of the different offers you received for the different properties. You can then work with your different filters, and you can even do correspondence from here as well. So you can send out email and SMS correspondence from here. And keep in mind, because you now received that offer to purchase, and if it does get accepted, you can then send that to maybe a bond originator that you normally work with all the FICA documentations of that individual, because all of that information will already be on the system. So once the transfer has gone through, what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to just attach an offer to purchase for this person. You'll see that under transfer, this is where the sales process begins. You'll see that Charlene has been accepted. She's now the purchaser. It's pulled through the actual purchase conditions. It's pulled through the additional information like the actual purchase amount and information like that of the person that I've actually accepted. If I need to make any changes, I can make some of those changes here when necessary at any point in time. I can then add the additional information. So, for example, who's the bond originator? I can then select the bond originator. Which bank are they going to go and get a bond from? So I'm going to choose First National Bank. I can put things like, did they apply? Did they get granted? And slowly start loading the information. Now, one of the most important things is obviously with your attorneys. You most likely going to get different attorneys who are going to be conveyancing this property. So you'll probably have different attorneys working. So you get the pawn attorney, you got your transfer attorney, you got a cancellation attorney if the property is still bonded, and you'll be able to load that information in the system. You'll see that I've already got a list of attorneys here, but if I wanted to create more, I have the ability to do so. The same with my bond originator. If I have different bond originators that I work with, I can then load more of them, so there's a bit of an option when selecting. So if I wanted to create a new attorney or attorneys, I can simply go to my service providers to create them. The other option is if you want to work with all the people that you have as a list, you also have the ability to do so. But at the end of the day, you want to create a service provider. And a service provider can be anybody. It can be the managing agents, it could be the municipalities, it can be different individuals, contractors that you work with. But I'm also going to load things like bond originators and attorneys for the sales. With the creating a new person, I'm just going to create a company, and I'm just going to give this company the name. I'm going to just copy paste a name of a company here. So this is just a made up name. I'm going to just put there who the contact person is. Maybe it's a conveyancing secretary. Maybe it's the actual attorney that I'm dealing with. I'll be able to put in their email address as well. Again, please, this is all fictitious information. So these aren't real attorneys. If you are looking for attorney, though, we do have a list of Propworx service providers that you can just request that we have a relationship with, and then you can actually contact them directly as well, because we do also have legal software for some of our attorneys as well. From my service provider drop down, I can then choose what it's going to be. In this case, I'm selecting an attorney. If it was bond originator, I could choose bond originator. And now I'm going to save the person. So this email address is not correct, so I'm just going to save it. Now my service provider is on the system. Of course, I could load documents against this service provider, so maybe specialized documentation that you need to fill in, or maybe there's an actual business card you want to attach, so you can easily email it out as well from the system. Now that this person's loaded, if I come back to here, they should now appear as one of my attorneys. And there they are, Wild and Leash. So now I can say that that's going to be the bond attorney, and Cacaldi Pereira, or the Cacaldi attorneys, is the transfer attorneys. And in the deeds office, because the properties in Pretoria, will be with Pretoria. And then I can load the different dates and any additional comments regarding the sale. Of course, you'd come and go from the screen as the time goes through, but essentially you'll be able to load the information. If you receive correspondence from your attorneys that the documents have not been signed, or documentation has been filled in, or that the property has been lodged, you'll be able to attach that information, or if you've got Outlook, drag and drop those emails so you save it here. So I'm just going to save this. And you can even see that from here, you can even send out emails. So if you want to email now the important individuals that are dealing with this property, you will be able to do so directly from here. Now, with your transfer process, you also have the report for the transfer process. So on the sales transfer process, it'll give you a list of all the properties where there is a sales transfer, so the property, the OTP was approved. Just keep in mind, if you do have any questions, you're welcome to type in the questions on the left-hand side as well. You'll see that you'll have the seller's details. These are all the different properties I've got. And once again, you can filter. So for example, I perhaps want to see for my agents, I'm going to choose Cindy here. Cindy's got full sales properties. I can then see which properties have been approved, which properties have been accepted. So far, only one property they have applied for a bond. We've gotten the details of the bond and the transfer attorneys. The other three properties, you can see whether they've been registered or rejected. And with all these reports, you can then export to Excel, CSV, view and print, or send out emails or SMSs directly from here. Once the property is lodged and registered, you'll be able to fill in those details and save it. Now, from Propworx, another feature that you are able to do is the ability to generate an invoice to send either to the attorney or maybe to the seller so that they can pay you your sales commission. So under your expenses, you can actually create a fee. You'll be able to load the information of that fee and how much of that will be for your sale. If you're VAT registered, you'll be able to load that information. And if you need to split that commission with your agent, you can actually do that split and it picks it up. This would then obviously be a once-off sales commission. When I'm ready that I want to send this off to somebody, I can generate a Pro-forma invoice. And with my Pro-forma invoice, I can then tell them when that invoice is due. I can attach it onto an email to send it out. So I'm going to just show you what that Pro-forma invoice does. Essentially, imagine it like a pre-invoice so that the person receives it, but you're not liable to pay any of that VAT immediately. So it won't appear on your VAT reports or your commission reports because you haven't received the money yet. When I open it up, it will have your logo in place. It will put the seller's details because the seller is the one who had the mandate with you, so they need to pay you that in commission, even though it might go to your attorneys and they will be paying your commission. We need to invoice the seller. It would put the sales description and information, the commission, and what bank account they need to use to make payment. So you would just load the bank account details there, and that's what the banking details will appear. Now, what's great about these Pro-forma invoices is that you also have an age analysis on your Pro-forma invoices. So with your age analysis, you're actually able to pick up whether somebody has paid that Pro-forma invoice or not. You can actually future date these Pro-forma invoices, so when it gets closer to time, you can actually email it out closer to the time. In the event that it is actually something outstanding, you'll be able to pick up how long it's been outstanding for and then follow up with these Pro-forma invoices when you need to. So then you'll be able to see if with your Pro-forma invoices, once it's been sent out, you'll be able to debit those fees, and then on Propworx, you will be able to pick that up as part of your fee reports. If you're just doing sales, it'll just show the sales fees here, but if you're doing rentals and sales, it will combine everything as income to you, and you'll see those reports here, and then you'll see the splits as well. You'll be able to load any additional notes when required to. And once the sale's gone through completely and you don't want that sale to be part of your active files, you'll be able to easily deactivate the file directly on Propworx. It will show you a list of all your files, but if you wanted to look at only your sales files, you can. And then deactivate that specific file when the sale's gone through. Once the file's been deactivated, the file will no longer be an active file, but it will now be an inactive file. Then once you get more sales properties, you'll just start the process over again. So that is just an overview of how to manage your sales files on Propworx. If there's any questions at this moment, you're welcome to ask those questions. I'm going to just look on my list if there's any questions that might be asked. Okay, so I got one question here. I did mention this. So it says here, can you do only sales files? So on Propworx, you do have that option. So you have the option to do rentals and sales, but then you also have a sales only option. If you just do have a sales department that only deals with sales, if you have a department that does rentals and sales, you can give that specific person a user license, which is only for sales. They won't see any of the rentals, any of the rental features. Okay, so I got another question here. When generating a sales report for all my sales, yes. So what will happen is on your sales report, it will split it up as your offers and your transfer process. So you could look at both of the reports. Your transfer process would probably be the best report to look at. So even though the transfer hasn't gone through, or at least you haven't already converted somebody from an offer to a transfer, it will appear here, but you'll see here I don't have a purchaser, so that you can work through all the reports with all the information in place. So you do have a transfer process report and a sales offer report as well. Okay, I just want to see if there's any more other questions or chats. Okay, so I don't see any additional questions. I'll just give it a few more minutes just to see if anybody's filling in anything. Okay, I don't see any more questions at this moment. So what will happen is if you want, we will be sending out this video after this webinar so that you'll have a copy of this video and what was discussed. If you have any additional questions, you're more than welcome to email it through to us. You can email your questions to support@propworx.co.za. We'll then contact you and help you answer those questions. If you are currently a client and just want to be able to maybe you have a whole list of sales properties that you haven't been running on the system, or maybe you want to start using Propworx to run your sales, we are able to input your data into our system. So it'll be a list of all your properties. It'll be a list of your offer details. It will also be your transfer details, and then obviously your purchaser. So we can input those details for you when necessary. And then if you want more information on the rentals, you're more than welcome to also email us, or at the end of the session, just make some feedback of that information. But thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. We will be hosting more webinars from next month. So we won't be having any more webinars the rest of this month. But from next month, we'll continue on with our webinars, specifically on the bookkeeping side of our rental features. Thank you so much, and we hope you have a wonderful day and a great weekend ahead.